Okay, so now that we have mastered our beautiful crochet chain, we are going to learn the very basic single crochet stitch. So, as you see, we're at the end of our chain, and we have one loop left on our hook, and we're going to work in the first stitch, or the first chain away from the hook. So you'll see you have all these nice little holes to work into. So you will push your hook from front to back through the chain, and this, you'll have two loops on your hook. And you're going to wrap your yarn around the hook, back around to the front, and then you will pull through the first, just the first loop. That's called pulling up a loop. So if you ever seen a pattern where it says pull up a loop, that's what that means, where you push your hook through, wrap the yarn around, and pull up a loop. So then you will have two loops on your hook. Now the single crochet, you just wrap your yarn around the hook one more time and you pull through both loops, and that is a single crochet. So to go over that again, you'll push your hook through the loop from front to back and wrap your yarn around the hook, or just grab it, pull it through so you have two loops, and you pull through both, and that's a single crochet. And I apologize for the video quality. This isn't the highest quality camera, so it's a little blurry, but I'm trying to use really big holes and really big yarn so you can kind of see what we're doing here. So you'll just work your way down the chain from front to back, grab the yarn, pull it up once, grab the yarn, pull through both, and that is a single crochet. So let me just finish going down, and I'll go a little slow here, although this is probably still a little fast, sorry. Until we get down to the end of our row. And I'll show you how to go back the other way. So you'll just keep going until we get to the very last chain. Pull through. And there we have our row of single crochets. Again, pull away so it's a little bit clearer. That is what that looks like. So then we're going to turn our work to go back the other way. And to start a row, you'll want to chain one. If you're doing single crochets, you'll just chain one. If you're doing doubles, you'll chain two, triple, chain three, etc. So in order to have the correct amount of stitches so you don't go outwards or inwards, you need to make sure you have the same amount of stitches per row. So what we're going to do is we're not going to go in this very first stitch, but we're going to go in the next one. And again, this is personal preference. Some people like to go into this very first stitch and then skip the very last chain here at the end and just end on the second to last stitch, or I prefer to start at the second stitch and then work into this very last chain on the row, and I'll show you when I get there. Just, it makes it look a little less lumpy at the end. So again, we're going to skip this very first one and we're going to go into the next one, and it's just like through the chain. You'll see at the top it kind of looks like a braid or like little deer paw prints at the top there, and we're going to go through both of those loops from the side, going front to back. And as you can see, since it's blurry, I'll pull it down here. I went through both loops. You're going to grab the yarn, pull up, and pull through both loops on the hook. Okay. Now there's these holes way down here. We don't want to go into those. We're actually going into this one right here underneath those two stitches at the top. Unless the pattern calls to go down an extra row, which sometimes it does. It gives it more depth. Or gives an extra long looking stitch, but for this pattern we're not going to do that. And some patterns will call for front loop or back loop only, and when you do that, when you're looking down from the top, like I said, you have these two loops on either side, look like a little doe print, and if you're doing back loop only, you would just go into this one right here. So you would just go through one and pull up and do your stitch, or front loop only. You would come in from the side and come up between the two stitches and pull up there. And that gives it kind of a ribbed look. So if you want, like for edgings or for like cuffs, if you're making a sweater or collar lines, sometimes you want, you know, a ribbed look, or even just a scarf, or if you want something to look a little patterned, that's how you would do a ribbed look. So then we get to the very end of the row. I'm going to go through the last stitch, and then again we have our little row. There's 2 rows of single crochets, and that's what that looks like. There's the back, there's the front, and there it is.